The war in Ukraine is escalating this week. The United Nations said July was the deadliest month for Ukrainian civilians since the first weeks of Russia's invasion nearly 5 years ago. On Thursday, a Russian drone struck a home in northern Ukraine, killing a woman and her 9-year-old son. And Ukraine has been stepping up its attacks in recent weeks on Russian energy infrastructure. The war is escalating as we mark exactly 1 year since President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin's summit in Alaska to discuss ending the war. The president was trying to make good on a campaign promise to end the war on his first day in office. It was a promise he later said was an exaggeration.
But the summit led to direct talks between Russia and Ukraine earlier this year that ultimately broke down. To see where the war in Ukraine stands, we are joined from our Washington bureau by CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd. Always good to see you. You are the perfect person to be talking to about this. So I want to start broad. You know, we're marking 1 year after that meeting. Are we any closer? Did that have any real impact?
Well, Kelly, this is certainly a bloody anniversary. Just to level set, the human toll of this war continues to increase. U.S.-based think tank CSIS estimates that casualties in this war exceed 2 million people. That includes tens of thousands of civilians. At the same time, we do appear to be at a military stalemate with no diplomatic off-ramp that's actually viable. Russia has continued its aerial assault against Ukraine. It is deeply aware that Ukraine is running low on what are known as Patriot interceptor missiles that can combat incoming ballistic and hypersonic missiles from Russia. And at the same time, Ukraine has escalated its missile attacks into Russia against energy and military, economic and military infrastructure. Russia's territorial advances in Ukraine do seem to be stalling, but again, the aerial campaigns are continuing and casualties continue to rise.
Sam, Ukrainian President Zelensky said this week if he could acquire 10% of America's current Patriot missile stockpile, Ukraine could stop all of Russia's ballistic missile attacks. Is that a realistic scenario?
Unfortunately for Ukraine, it is not, and it is certainly a dark day when the president of Ukraine has to publicly beseech the United States for Patriot interceptors. However, the unfortunate truth is we are facing a global shortage of these interceptor missiles. That's because the United States just has a range of targets it needs to defend. Ukraine is asking for actual interceptors. At the same time, they're asking for licenses to manufacture their own, while surveying the global market to see if there's any viable foreign alternatives. But the Russians know well that Ukraine is running low on these interceptors, which is likely why they have upped their campaign against Ukrainian cities and civilians with missiles of their own.
Sam, we, in our last hour, had a piece from Olivia Gazis that really got into the space race and how technology is evolving. And I saw this report in the Wall Street Journal this week. Ukrainian drone operators and U.S. Army troops, they faced off in a kind of war games. Ukrainians defeated the American troops easily. And so obviously, you know, this drone technology is becoming ever more present. What does that say about where the war in Ukraine could be headed, and what does it say about our ability to keep our troops safe?
Well, certainly the Russia-Ukraine war may really continue to evolve into a war for the skies using advanced AI-enabled drone targeting, as well as, of course, drones and missiles coming from Russia. That's just a fact of modern-day warfare. We're seeing that in the Ukrainian theater, in the Russian theater, and, of course, in the Middle East as well, Kelly.
All right, Sam Vinograd in Washington. Thanks so much. Always appreciate your perspective.